Hello, dear spies! Olá, queridos espiões! Bem-vindos à quarta edição do Spia Live. Welcome to the fourth edition of Spia Live. I'm gonna be talking about the songs for the concert because during the concert we are gonna play everything in one piece to really have the whole atmosphere of a Liederabend, what they call a whole recital in one concentration, in one idea, totally into the poetry and the songs. Eu vou falar das músicas que nós vamos tocar para vocês já terem uma ideia do que nós vamos apresentar nesse domingo, porque durante a performance nós não vamos fazer a moderação. Nós vamos fazer um concerto inteiro imerso na poesia e na música de Franz Schubert. Another wonderful information is that our toast for this Spia Live is gonna be with coffee. Of course, a special coffee with like in Vienna style, with whipped cream, cacao with chocolate, and if you want to put a liquor, we are gonna put a caramel liquor to make a little bit more special. So, esse domingo nós vamos fazer o nosso brinde com café. Um café que eles chamam de café vienense, que é um café com creme, com nata e chocolate. E nós vamos botar um licor, de caramelo. Se vocês quiserem, podem escolher o próprio licor. No Brasil já é de manhã, e se vocês não quiserem fazer com café, quem sabe um chimarrão? Vamos ver, depois vocês vão mandar as fotos pra gente. So we are gonna be performing a concert with 9 pieces of Schubert that are the most famous and the most beautiful ones. Nós vamos tocar 9 peças do Schubert. A primeira peça é uma peça que não é tão conhecida, que se chama A Noite. The first piece is not so known and is called The Night, Die Nacht. This piece, the text was written by a woman. She was a very important writer in Vienna. Her name is Caroline Pichler. She had in her home a kind of saloon where all the prominent musicians were playing. So Beethoven played there, Schubert played there. It was like a home for the art. And she had 60 works published. She had, of course, the luck to be married to a publisher in Vienna because, as you know, many women, they were producing art, writers, painters, but they didn't have the same platform as the men had. They couldn't publish most of them. But this one, she wrote a novel. And from this novel comes the text from Die Nacht. It's about death, but death in a very courageous way. It tells that you suffered in life, but you have a heart, and just feel this pain. If they don't like you, doesn't matter. You feel this pain and just you let go, but is everything okay? So it's a kind of heroic view from the death, because as you know, in the time of Biedermeier, in this literature time in Europe, they love to speak about essential feelings like death, like love, like nature. There are lots of songs talking about nature. The second piece is one of our favorite pieces, Du bist die Ruhe. You are the restore, you are the peace. Você é a paz. You can hear in this song really how Schubert made the guitar, the company and the voice to transmit this kind of peace. The text, the poetry is from a very famous poet, from the time. It's called Rückert. He wrote really beautiful, beautiful poetry. Rückert, in his poetry, named this song Come Back to Me. Come Back to Me. It's like when a lover says, you are the peace, come back to me, close the door behind you, and you can see in my eyes, they shine just for you. So is that pure love? Né? I think everybody knows that when you love somebody, your eyes are shining like small lamps. So this song is really beautiful, and the lines of the sing are very long and gonna bring you to a kind of a meditation mood. The third song we are gonna perform is a very known song. It's called Heidenröslein, the wild rose from the heather. Song is from a very famous poet from the time, and he wrote this song when he was in Strasbourg. He was in love with a woman called Frédéric Brion. And this song is a metaphor. So it's talking about a boy that sees a rose, and the dialogue between these two. So the boy speaks and the rose speaks. Is a kind of song about uncorresponded love, because this Frédéric didn't want to be with Goethe. And this song talks about that the boy then just take the rose from the heather. He kind of doesn't like that this rose doesn't love him as he wanted. So you're gonna hear in this song two people talking to each other, the rose and the boy. So now our fourth and most exciting songs, very challenging songs for both of us. It's a very famous one called König, the Earl King. It's like the fairy king from the forest. It's a Scandinavian fairy tale. And he wrote with a gathering from friends, and in the same day he performed it. It's a very exciting song because there is four characters talking in this song. There is the narrator who's telling the story. There is the father who's carrying these his ill children in his arms in the horse. There is the children that is afraid because in the imminence of its death, she hears and sees this fairy person, this Earl King. He's coming to haunt his death. And the other person talking is the Earl King itself. He's saying to these children, come little boy, come play with me. Come, I have my daughters, they are gonna play with you. So the music, the interesting part in this song is that the music from the Earl King is the most soft and the very playful and very cute one. So to tempt this child, he's a very sweet guy, very sweet person, until he noticed that this boy is not gonna obey, and then he gets a little bit more violent. So it's an exciting piece because you hear like a horse riding. And the father is riding the horse in the forest, probably searching for a doctor and trying to cure and to see what's happening with his child. And the child sees this Earl King and he's afraid. And the father says, no, don't worry. Those are the leaves on the forest. He's trying to comfort the child. It's a very, very exciting piece. So you're gonna be really in a kind of mini opera, König, with words of Goethe, our really master poet from this evening, from this afternoon with Schubert. It's about the dialogue between death and the young woman. It's an amazing piece. And it's not so scary as you can imagine. There's a beautiful turning point in this song. The poem is from Matthias Claudius, and it starts the song with a very solemn funeral march with the same harmony, structural harmony from the very famous funeral march from Chopin. But Schubert wrote that before. So you're gonna hear a very solemn beginning. And after, the girl is talking. Oh, please, death, don't take me. I'm so young. I have so much life still. Probably it was an ill child, an ill young person. But death comes. And now the second part, the third part, death is talking. But death, it brings a kind of calm atmosphere for this young woman. It says, don't be afraid. I'm not here to scare you. Hold my hand. Be courageous. It's telling that everything's gonna be fine. And in the end, the music that you hear is not a minor chord, it's a major chord. So it's a positive ending, because death, it's a positive ending or new beginning. So continue the program. We are playing a Ständchen, a serenade. We have in opera many serenades or in music, and they are always played like a like imitating an instrument that probably will be the guitar. Because the guitar, as you know, you can carry under your arm and you can make serenades everywhere. This serenade was written with poems from Ludwig Rellstab. It is part of the last cyclus of songs from Schubert. They always say that the last work from a composer is Schwanen, is swan, like the swan, like this beautiful purity of the swan. The swan is like the symbol of your soul, the white, beautiful, elegant, and pure animal. The serenade will be sung by both of us, like Haydn Röslein also. So there is some special songs which are singing together. So this serenade tells about slowly float my love feelings for you. So it's like kind of a longing for your love. That's why you do a serenade, to really captivate the one you love to love you in return. Following, we're gonna play another song with poems from Goethe. Gretchen am Spinnrade comes from his romance Faust. I think you already heard about it. That Faust from Goethe is about Faust who makes a deal with the devil, so he becomes younger because he's in love with a young Marguerite. Gretchen is the kind of nickname for Marguerite. So she falls in love also with Faust. And in this moment, she's really sewing and working in this spinning wheel for sewing. And the spinning wheel really reflects her anxiety. So she's she's in love and she wants to see him again, and she doesn't know when she's gonna see him, and the spinning wheel is like a motor. My peace is gone. I don't see my heart is so heavy. I want to see him again. He's so wonderful. He's so sexy guy, you know. And this spinning wheel goes and goes and goes and goes until the moment where she remembers his kiss. And then it stops. Because it was the most wonderful thing that ever happened to her. And this moment in the music, it stops everything. But then she's alone and life goes on. So the spinning wheel starts again, starts again, starts again. So it's really a beautiful, really, the music is perfectly in tune with the emotion from this character. So as I told you, in that time, nature was very praised. They were talking about the night, the moon, the rivers, the trees, the flowers. So it was a very common thing for them. And one of the most famous songs from Schubert is An die Natur, is like to nature. But it's really a wonderful homage to nature. You can notice in this song that everything that has to do with nature has always a kind of third parallel, a kind of simple melody. It's a kind of idyllic feeling when you are on the fields, when you are in the mountains. So it's a kind of pastorale, it's a kind of really very simple melodies. And in this song he's praising nature. Of course, it's so important. I think if we would be nowadays so much in touch with nature and to valuing nature, I think we would have a totally different world. You can hear in a solemnity of the guitar, like you have a choir of 100 voices, just to praise this wonderful thing that we have here for everybody, the nature. And to end our program, we have, of course, one of the most important, emblematic songs from Franz Schubert, An die Musik, our homage to one thing that binds you and is so important to us. That is the music, a very famous song. It's like a hymn for us musicians. Thank you, music. Thank you, because when the world is so entangled and we have our dark moments, the music comes and brings hope, brings light, brings everything, and saves us. So nothing better in this moment of the world, of the life, to be really thankful for the music, because the music also connects us, is bringing us together, is helping us in this difficult time, and is bringing us hope. And with that song, we would like to thank you very much and to have fun Sunday. And thank you very much for listening to my really long explanation, but it's made with lots of heart and lots of passion for music. So see you next Sunday.